This story centers on Officer Jessica Ferguson, a communications investigator with the Phoenix Police Department in Arizona, with events dating back to around 2008. In December, the police received an emergency call on the 911 hotline. The voice belonged to an elderly woman speaking in a very faint whisper, as if she were trapped in a distant enclosed place. Jessica attempted to locate the call, but the system returned a highly bizarre signal. The call was originating from the center of the Old City Cemetery. Jessica asked the woman for her name, and the reply came in a terrifying whisper. "I'm your mother, Jessica. I'm locked up underground." Jessica froze. This was impossible, as her mother, Elizabeth, had died 6 months prior and was buried in that exact cemetery. Jessica didn't tell her colleagues the details but dispatched a team immediately. Over the next few minutes, the woman continued to whisper, saying, "I'm sorry, my child. The robbers tried to steal from me. I can't breathe." When the officers arrived, Jessica directed them. Then an officer exclaimed, "Jessica, there's a fresh, slight digging mark next to a tombstone engraved with Elizabeth Ferguson. It looks like someone tried to dig up the grave." After a few horrifying moments of silence, Jessica heard a loud, screeching sound come from the elderly woman's phone, and then the line cut off suddenly and permanently. The police's only explanation: grave robbers attempted to steal jewelry buried with the mother. The movement of the soil and damage to the grave caused a very weak electrical charge to any device buried, sending a faint, fleeting signal. However, no one could explain why the woman's voice said, "I'm your mother, Jessica," and the case remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in the department's history. Title: The Face That Only Appears in Selfie Photos. The Haunted Elevator Story. The background and the old elevator. This story is about a young man named Daniel who worked in marketing in an old office building in New York. Building had 2 elevators, known as the Carmichael Building, one of which was very old and often broke down. Most employees avoided it, but Daniel had no choice but to use it when finishing work late. Feeling of weight, and the first photo. The strange events began when Daniel started feeling a weird heaviness in the old elevator, even when he was alone, as if someone else was sharing the confined space. One day, he decided to take a selfie as a joke. When he reviewed the picture at home, he initially saw nothing, but upon closer inspection he saw something terrifying. The appearance of the blurred face. Near his left shoulder in the picture, a distorted, blurred face appeared like a ghost, peering from the edge of the frame. The face was indistinct, just frightening gray features as if someone was standing right behind him. Daniel was absolutely certain he was alone, so he immediately deleted the photo, believing it was an optical illusion. The second photo and the challenge the following week, Daniel felt the same sense of unease in the elevator, as a kind of terrifying self-challenge. He took out his phone and snapped another selfie from the exact same angle. Daniel decided not to review the picture until he was completely outside the building. The real horror and the chilling detail when he opened the photo. The distorted face was there again, but much clearer this time. The eyes were large and dark, the features masculine and angry, But the most terrifying thing was that the face wasn't looking at the camera. It was looking directly at Daniel within the photo. Daniel zoomed in and noticed a horrifying detail. This face was nowhere in the elevator's reflection. It appeared only in the captured shot, as if it were an added part of the image itself. The revelation of the ghost's identity. The next day, Daniel spoke to the building's old security guard and showed him the pictures which he recovered from the trash. The guard looked at them and sighed. "Ah, you mean Mr. Giles. He was an employee here in the 80s. He hated the new elevator and always used this specific one." The frightening conclusion. Daniel fearfully asked what happened to him. The guard calmly replied, "He passed away 25 years ago. The last thing he did was get into this very elevator. He died of a heart attack on his way up to his office. They say his face was full of extreme anger in his final moments." Daniel resigned that same week. Since then, no one uses the old elevator after sunset.